Welcome back, everybody. Sorry for a little bit of a delay. Today we have with us now Vince Abadi, Senior Director of Software Engineering here at CA, and he's going to talk about DE for Z and zOSMF. Go ahead, Vince.
Hi, good morning, guys. Are you going to give me the main screen so I can just basically the title screen?
Oh, no, I thought you had it. I'm sorry.
Yep.
I'll just go quick.
Yeah. Good morning, good afternoon. This is Vince Abadi. Some of you that have been around Datacom for a long time probably know me. I'm one of the functional managers at here for Datacom R&D. We have also some dysfunctional ones here too, so some say I might qualify for that. So basically what I'm going to be doing is a live demo, and you know how live demos go. Usually I have very good luck with them. We'll be, first of all, discussing CA development for Z, okay, which is mostly a partnership between IBM and CA in order to provide the same thing that IBM development for Z provides, And actually, going forward, we'll have, all of the current code that IBM development for C, has, along with, it would also be applied to the CA development for C. So what we're actually having, adding our plugins for our own products and features within CA that will make it a whole lot easier for people, especially the young professionals coming up. And some of us, old professionals, actually take advantage of these features also, having the point-and-click environment that we've gotten accustomed to. Actually, one of the developers earlier asked me if there was a plugin for Roscoe, so I told him we're working on it, Okay.
The leader has muted your line. To unmute your line, press #6.
Here, but you see, this is, okay. I'm going to go ahead and bring up the CA development for Z environment, which is most likely will be the same way as far as installation and configuration within the environment. There are a couple of things that you need authorization from as far as GIS is concerned in order for you to be able to go ahead and have access to the environment as a whole. One of the first, panels that you'll get, it will be actually, this one right here, which is the workspace. Well, he actually is setting up the profile that you're going to be coming up with, okay? And this, the profile is very important simply because what you're doing is, creating your own workspace, the way that your windows are going to go ahead and look in the environment. So you can have separate environments for, for different LPARs, for different systems, and basically that would be the way that you're actually looking at. So as you can see right here, is that I'm going to go ahead and bringing it up with DEZ1. So in order to go ahead and create and show you the flexibility and empowerment of these features, is just create a brand new one. And I'll show you within this period of time, which is going to be on or about 15 minutes, I'll be able to go ahead and create a dashboard where you'll be able to go ahead and perform whatever functions you need from the development or system side. Okay, meaning bringing up and, setting up your environment, your data sets, create new data sets, point to different jobs, bring up your month, verify that it's actually running, bring up, a program, compile it, execute it, and look at the results. And then also, of course, I'll show you some of the other functionalities and features that and plugins that we're provided to this IDE, okay? So I should have clicked OK because it just takes a little bit in order for it to get going, so, and I would have been able to go ahead and talk while going through that environment. So here we are, okay? That didn't take that very long at all in order for it to come out. This is, you know, basically, other than the welcome, here are the cheat sheets. And in order to go ahead and just create, you know, start creating an environment and it gives you a default template, you know, here we are. What's this? That's not where I want. There you go. Okay, so in order to go ahead and actually communicate with the environment, the LPAR, yeah, because you have that option to communicate to one or more, okay, everything for, you have the new connections here, whether it is, you know, another Windows server or Linux environment or even a ZOS, just go ahead and double click on it. And you double click on it again. There you go. Okay, and then basically the local host comes up and all you got to do is go ahead and plug in what environment you want to go ahead and communicate with. As far as we're concerned, I'm going to go ahead and communicate with one of our OUSIL CA31, which is one of our big development systems. I can go ahead and give a description. I choose not to for the sake of the demo. And
we weren't seeing that. Did you show your whole desktop or just one part of it?
The whole desktop.
Okay, well, we didn't see that last screen. Okay, go ahead.
You're still not seeing that. I mean, because you wouldn't have gone there unless you were looking at my desktop, right?
I'm at your desktop. I'm viewing your desktop.
Yeah, and that's not what I'm showing right here. Yeah, evidently my laptop is not matching what you're actually seeing, and you know, I guess let me go a little bit further ahead, see if it actually catches up here at some point in time. So what I'm clicking here is you know, down on the MVS files. I've already gone ahead and done the. Do I have control of this?
Yeah, it says viewing your screen. Okay, let's see. You're the host, you're the presenter right now, and I'm viewing your screen.
Did you select the show your whole desktop?
Yeah.
We're not seeing a screen. We're starting the first.
Disconnect and reconnect.
Share my screen, share, yeah, share. I'm sharing my screen, share application.
Yeah, you want screen.
Yeah.
Does it make any sense to should somebody else take it?
Okay, I can do that. Here, let me take it.
This is a way to kind of reset.
Okay, it seems like it caught up. It seems like it caught up.
Well, let me go back in. Okay, let me go back to this. Where is it?
Sorry, guys, minor technical difficulty here.
And now you have to reshare again once you have it. Okay, reshare. Share it to share my desktop. Okay, I'm seeing that.
Okay, that's it. Okay, yeah, I think we're back in sync here. Okay, we're back in sync here. Basically, what is showing up, and I think what actually did is that there's this colon user thing that actually popped up, and that's actually getting in the way of things. So here we are back again, and actually the demo was going to go ahead and last, you know, a little bit longer. Maybe we'll go about 16 minutes here. Okay. So what I'll do right here is just to go ahead and take a look at the data sets that I've been assigned. Okay, I don't know if you actually went ahead and missed it, but when I went ahead and clicked on the ZOS environment, I just went ahead and put one of my environments within CA in order for me to be able to go ahead and communicate again. So what I did right here, you see this thing right here is getting in the way, Dale. And that's basically what, yeah. Okay. So I'll just keep going. So basically what I have here are all of the data sets starting with my PMF key, which means that's the ID actually when logged into the system. So the powerful, one of the features that CA Development for Z or IBM for Z has is, you being able to go ahead and plug in and filter other things or other libraries. For instance, I want to go ahead and bring in another library, right? So I just go ahead and just plug it in either at the high-level qualifier level or at the straight data set name. So in this situation, I go after this guy right here, so I won't have to go ahead and clutter the environment. Yeah. And you notice that I was typing in, 2 periods and then 2 S's, and he knew that it didn't exist, so therefore he wouldn't let me go forward, meaning that he had grayed out the areas here. So if I want to go ahead and further take a look at some of the other features you have in here, CA Development for Z, is actually to go ahead and locate members, because that guy actually has about 1,000+ members. So I want to go ahead and A, for instance, and just go ahead and bring him up. And here's the JCL for it, and then basically I'll just double click on it, and he comes up. Okay. So then I have any other, functionality. All I got to do is right mouse click in order for him to be able to go ahead and tell me what else I can do within this environment. So right here, what I want to go ahead and do is just basically submit what system CA31 is just basically go ahead and notify me while he's actually going ahead and, coming up at this time. So the thing is actually being submitted. He's telling me right here in this little bitty console, and still can't get rid of this. Thank you. And what I wanted to go ahead and actually do the next thing is that you can actually go ahead, that was the basic template, and just realign it, and I like to get my outline right here, okay? So for instance, if I was to just go ahead and click here, he'll tell me everything that's within the actual execution of this JCL. Going forward, I can just go ahead and click down, and I can take a look at the jest, what's actually just telling me as far as the execution of this program, okay? So I said, okay, my job, I got a, and that was basically 3224. It says it's active right here, meaning he's telling me that my Datacom environment's up and running, so that's a good thing. So one of the other things I wanted to go ahead and show you, just to go ahead and bring you, since it is a development environment, I wanted to go ahead and show you that what he does specifically with either COBOL, PLI, and Assembler. Assembler is actually not out just yet to support the plug-in support for assembly, and that's both for IBM Development for C and CA Development for C. But once it actually comes out, it'll perform basically the same way as the COBOL will, okay? So for instance, if I wanted to go ahead and just bring in a COBOL, one of the nice features that he has available is that even though, this guy's actually, this data set is in the mainframe, okay, he will plug in, he knows, since he searches the file, and he knows that it is a COBOL program, and he'll suffix it with a CPL underneath, and he'll actually perform the same functionality for the JCL members, for instance, that didn't make it do that. Okay, so basically I'll just go ahead and bring up the COBOL program. This COBOL program, it looks better on my laptop than probably yours, okay, but it is very color-coded, and And basically, it provides a lot of good mechanisms in order for you to be able to go ahead and either develop or even go ahead and modify it or debug it, okay? One of the other things that we do have available, as you can see as far as the tab is concerned, are the actual plugins to our environments, okay, to CA Development for Z, and those are the plugins for Endeavor, FileMaster Plus, DB2 Via, FileMaster Plus for IMS, Intertest, Math, which is an application tuner, and SimDump, okay? And there'll be some other ones actually coming in. And this is some of the things that that we're partnering with IBM. We've been able to go ahead and create these plugins which work almost exactly the same way as they would if you were running on a mainframe. But now, basically, you just have the capability to point and click, and I wanted to go ahead and actually, just run an internet test program up against my COBOL job here, then he'll be able to go ahead and perform that functionality, either debug it, and if you actually went ahead and now bend it, you'll have the SimDump there in order for you to be able to go ahead and look at the dump and verify what's actually going on within the environment. And also some other plugins as far as a CICS Explorer are also able to be brought in as well, and all you got to do is go ahead and just pull in the code from the internet and be able to go ahead and download it, and then you'll be able to go ahead and just perform all of the configurations. And if anyone has any problems trying to do the configurations for CICS Explorer, you can always email me and I'll be able to go ahead and just drive you through it, okay? Because there are a couple of things that you need to do in order for you to be able to go ahead and communicate with this environment. So these are the plugins that we have available here for you. One of the things I also wanted to go ahead and show you was, not that for sure, was this right here, which was brings you up to JCL. Notice that he keeps track. I can go back and forth with anything else that I have in this environment. And this is my JCL to go ahead and, well, let me go ahead and, sorry I'm jumping around here, but he allows you, notice that the outline here, it gives you every aspect, every paragraph within the procedure division. So you can, if you want to just go ahead and actually go directly to it, you'll be able to just click on it and you're already at that point in time. And then, for instance, want to go, if you have actual copybooks or anything, you can just go ahead and just put your mouse over it, gloss over, and you'll be able to go ahead and see what's actually underneath or what actually has been identified within either the copybooks or the particular, work areas that you're working with as far as COBOL. Remember, as I mentioned, you also have support for PL1 and assembler is coming, so it should work basically the same way, okay? No differences. So in any point in time, where you have some sort of error, basically you will actually see one of these things, if a move is expected, or, that this is just for the sake of the demo that I'm showing you. So it's something, really simple, but you get the point. So, if it's actually, if the IDE is able to go ahead and recognize that it's an actual error, he'll actually put a lock right there and letting you know, more or less like a highlight for you to be able to go ahead and clean it up. Okay, so in this situation, one other thing here, as far as the programs is concerned, you even have the capability of creating a test set, okay, in order for you to be able to go ahead and debug your program, or test your program, or test a particular paragraph that you're actually executing against. In this situation, I'm just going to go ahead Actually, I could either go ahead and validate it or just go ahead and submit it. I'm going to go ahead and submit it, and that was, of course, COBOL program that I was that I was going through. I'll go ahead and tell them to go ahead and notify it again. And notice that guy over there was the one that I ran previously. It's been duly submitted because that was the month. Notice that he came back with my job of 4,000, which I just went and submitted, which is the compile, link, and go, pretty much. And he came back and told me right then and there from the brief console messages that I got it with a return code 0. I can always go back here over my Jeff queue and you know, and actually just go ahead and verify, and that was basically, I can always go ahead and do also a refresh, and here it is, job 4,000. I can go ahead and expand it and see exactly what he actually went ahead and did. And what I wanted, you know, you can go ahead and take a look at the syslin, you know, the compilation, you know, aspect of things, so you can bring that up and, you know, have at it and take a look at it, you know, see what actually went ahead and compiled, so on and so forth. But you mostly are actually interested in the output. And, you know, and this was the basic data, you know, Datacom program going up against our demo databases, you know, and basically the gist of the demo was to show you the flexibility and simplicity of actually setting up the environment and running through the aspect of a full, you know, setting up you know, your data set, bringing up your COBOL programs and executing your multi-user or whatever else you have in mind in order for you to be able to go ahead and become proficient within, you know, within this environment in a short period of time. Okay, so of course, and that's basically, you know, things that exist. You know, you have the plugins, for instance, if you're actually executing with Endeavor, then basically you will be picking up your source from Endeavor and, you know, making whatever modifications and putting them back whenever you are ready to go ahead and execute, or have it ready, or you also have the capabilities, for instance, actually setting up projects. And for instance, right here, I can go ahead and do a sample one. I said decom sam one. I say finish, you know, and then basically I can drive down and notice that we already have some actual COBOL program. So, and this is more or less something that's driven from within the actual CA development environment for Z, okay? So these are more or less for groupings that you'll be working for, you know, on a long type of process rather than having them in your own data sets or either Endeavor. So you have the flexibility to work in multi-type of environments, okay? So how am I doing for time? I think that's basically what I wanted to go ahead and show for development for Z at this time. And as you know, there's a whole lot more. One of the things that we, you know, maybe the next demo, actually, I'll have those plugins implemented, so you'll be able, I'll be able to go ahead and run through a full life cycle management type of process where I would actually get a COBOL program, bring it down from Endeavor, you know, make whatever modifications and run them through Intertest in order for you to see the flow or how it works with it, you know, and actually, you know, create a demo. And Nancy's asking me, what do you mean? I don't know what I mean.
It was resource day.
Okay. It was a private conversation, but I was not supposed to be in it. Okay. So, so much for this one. Are there any questions before I jump into zOSMF?
Don't forget, if you want to ask a question, you need to unmute your line, #6. George Beck has said that he's not hearing the sound. Can anybody else who can hear the sound confirm for me that someone out there can hear the sound?
Yeah, I'm hearing the sound clearly.
Okay, perfect. It must just be a problem with George then. Okay, I'll let him know. Okay, so now, does anybody have a question for Vince?
Well, you should have asked Kevin. He's sitting right across to see whether or not he heard the sound.
I heard it.
Vince, yeah, I've got one question here.
Sure.
This looks like a very useful product. I see that it's got various other CA products mentioned in the various tabs up at the top there.
Yeah,
Is this a product that comes does this product come as part of CA Intertest, for example, or is it a standalone product?
Basically, it's a standalone product from CA known as DE for Z, or Development Environment for Z. That standalone product has the interfaces necessary to get into Datacom, IDMS, and we keep developing additional interfaces to other products. So basically, it's a single standalone product from CA called CA Developer for Z, or we call it DE for Z short, and it will have these other interfaces.
Right. And the interface are basically, yeah, and you know, they call them plugins, you know, and we're going to keep on putting out, you know, for instance, well, one of the things that it lacks right now is actual, you know, console messaging. You know, for instance, if I want to go ahead and bring down that mouse right then and there, and I was actually talking to Dayan earlier, you know, seeing whether or not they will have a plug-in for SysView, okay? And, you know, and that's a good topic because SysView will bring you so many more features from that aspect that you'll be able to go ahead and plug this in and actually not only perform a programming from the programming aspect, but also from the systems management aspect of things.
Right. Yeah. Sounds good.
Right. And you know, and that's what I was saying. You know, perhaps on the next demo, I would set up the plugins so you'll be able to see exactly a full life cycle type of process where I will bring in something from, let's say, Endeavor right here. As far as the plugin is concerned, I'll be able to modify it and then execute it and test it via Intertest, or look at a dump via SysView dump, or whatever else other features or plugins that I have available.
Right.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you. Any other questions? Okay, then I'll go ahead and jump into a zOSMF at this point, okay? And okay, you're looking at my screen still? Good. So then I can basically jump into zOSMF, and it's telling me that continue to this website not recommended, and I click OK. That's us in there. That's an internal joke here, you know. So okay. So we go ahead and log in and give my one. Okay, so let me tell you a little bit about this, okay? And I'm pretty sure that if you have, you know, an IBM environment, you're running the latest, some of the latest versions of CIOS, you have, IBM has made this, you know, the ZOS management facility available to you. Well, one of the things, you know, that as far as CA going forward, the direction for both CSM or MSM, as many people know, and you know, software, mainframe software management, basically it will cease at this point as far as version 6.1 of CSM is concerned. And basically the direction that they've taken is to follow, basically to leave what IBM is currently doing, which it has provided zOSMF in order to go ahead and install, maintain, configure, the environments, every environment that is actually running within the box. Okay, so and basically what we're doing is we're following suit with it, and we're just basically and this is going to be a demo of how things will actually look going forward from our end. Okay, there will probably be some other features, but this was something that basically that we put together so it can give you a flavor of what of things to come per se. But not only ourselves, probably some other software houses that I know that IBM will be providing just about all of its installation, maintenance, and configurations via zOSMF. And instead of actually being configuration, they're actually calling workflows. Okay, and the workflow basically allows you to align an environment, okay, and allows you to align all of the software, and you being able to distribute it to the people who are going to be part of the actual process. Meaning whoever's going to be involved, they have all of the functions, the steps, and everything else, and the manager or whoever's managing the project will be able to assign each one of the people involved with their functions, okay? And, you'll be able to tell, how far they are, whether or not they completed, any questions, it gives you all of this documentation that is available. So what we did right here, and everything is basically actually the XML. It lends itself to the flexibility, and then you will see some of the things that it probably will not look as pretty as CSN did when we actually went ahead and put it out. But as far as the functionality, it is very flexible at this point. Okay. So, and right here, basically, this one has all of the workflow that we have, and we've actually been playing with within the environment as far as development is concerned. So you can find here everything from, IMS tools, DB2 tools, and whatever else. I just decided to go ahead and put myself up on top for the sake of simplicity. So. What I wanted to do is actually show you how to go ahead and, once we get everything set up and we make things available, which we're still quite a bit away, we're still developing standards as far as how things are going to look and they're going to be going ahead and provide it. But as far as internally we're concerned, we already have pretty much a template of how things will look from our end, okay? So right here, what I'm going to do is just go ahead and I'm just going to go ahead and delete this guy. Going to delete that workflow, and I'm going to start right here from scratch. I'm going to go ahead and create a workflow. And that's the way that you're actually go ahead and take, bring it into the environment. Everything is going to be, it's going to be you're going to be taking a look at a pack file, that's in the USS world, and you're just going to go ahead and point at it and then just go ahead and bring it in. And that's exactly what I'm doing right here. And everything is driven via the XML that we're coded underneath, okay? This is the workflow for CA Datacom AD 15.1, which is not in the field yet, and we'll begin, working on it as soon as we can. And right here, these are the environments that have been defined underneath in order for me to be able to go ahead and, pick and choose which L-forward system I want to go ahead and execute this code up against. I want to go ahead and execute up against CA31, which is one of our big development systems. I'm sure they're going to go ahead and have cycles to be able to perform this demo. I just go ahead and click on next, and then I can just put whatever comments I can say installation of CA Datacom DER15. I missed COM, right? You know, you can actually right here do the public thing, or just do a private for only people. One of the things that you know, for instance, in this situation I'm going to be giving you the demo with, is that I want to go ahead and assign all of the tasks, all of the steps for my user ID, because I remember I was telling you that there's going to be other, you know, many steps, and you can actually pick and choose the people who are going to be involved as far as the process and assign it to them, so they'll be able to go ahead and work on it, okay? So I'll just go ahead and click finish, and what he will do at this point, he's gone ahead and created, you know, he's gone ahead and, okay, he's gone ahead and created all of the tasks, okay? Not only did he create the actual workflow, but he immediately went ahead and threw me into the process, okay? He's created all of the tasks that I'm going to need to execute in order to perform a clean install as far as CA Datacom DR15 run is concerned. Okay, so basically just click on this guy right here, and then just click on IND copy, which is basically the first step in order to bring down the actual execution of the JCL that's going to be, going to be going forward. And basically what we've done is just chosen all of the steps internally as you would be performing a regular, install. You go ahead and do a perform right here, and what he's actually going to go ahead and bring in, and it said, okay, give me the high-level qualifier for all of the variables. And these are going to be basically the variables that I have for the environment, okay? So I can just go ahead and pick and choose what, the variables I want to go ahead and VCM QA as far as Datacom QA. I can call it zOSMF. For that, my target libraries, I have a set of target libraries that I can go ahead and then I can just go ahead and just pick on my high-level qualifier for my target libraries, which are my 15.1 environment, and then just go ahead and plug it in again. Okay, and then basically the high level for the CUS libraries. Okay, and of course, what we'll have is more documentation as far as the dependency and the details, and all of that information will be available to you. So in detail, in order for to make things easier for the client, driving through specifically on the first time that they're actually be able to go ahead and look at this environment. Okay, I know that, and also going forward, this was put together for a demo, so therefore going forward we'll have different options, whether or not you have SMS or other type of environments that you would actually want to go ahead and put your data. For this, for the sake of the demo, I just went ahead and have just a raw sphere here. So this WSGIAV copy, so on and so forth, sounds good to me. And then it's basically he's giving me a template as far as how my job cards are going to go ahead and look at. Just go ahead and put AXCUS00. And whatever account information I have, 12541, I hope that's right. And then basically this is very important, simply the message class X, or whatever, is actually defining your environment, so you'll be able to go ahead and keep it, because what he does, he picks up that information and he brings it into zOSMF, and you have the capability of keeping, that information and archive it, okay, as far as the execution. I'll show you basically how, how this works here in a little bit. Then we have next, so that's basically a template going forward. One of the other things, simply because that I need to go ahead and modify, and it took me about, 3 hours to figure out that this needed to be 80 characters here. So otherwise things go all over the place, actually. So, basically that's, and then I have the choice, and basically this window is kind of just limiting me as to how much I can actually go ahead and show you, okay? But usually on a bigger screen, of course, I'm able to give you the big screen. If I want to go ahead and edit the JCL, I can do that. Or I can just browse it just to make sure that all of the modifications that I had for the variables have taken place. Okay, the one that I wanted to go ahead and actually verify for sure was that I'm bringing in the correct, this guy right here. And that looks good. Okay, I go ahead and save it. I go ahead and click on next. And then I click on finish. And then basically what this is, it's just a console. Okay, it's telling me, basically the guy's, executing. I went ahead and send it out for it to execute, and I'll just go ahead and click refresh in order, wait for it, basically, for the thing to finish. And finish. Of course, this works at the demo level, meaning that, right, meaning that it's going to take a while to make me look at, so, but that's okay. It's not the first time. So here you actually get the verification and you actually get the output. Remember, I told you if you actually have the different, depending on your site and your configuration of your environment, of your jet, if you don't have that, set up in order for it to go ahead and capture your output, then you will not see what you're supposed to be looking for, and you have access to everything from the just message JCL system, So as you can see, that went ahead and executed just fine, okay? So we'll just go ahead and close that one, and internally what he'll do, he'll drive that back to the main menu, and actually he's actually updating the list that we're going through. So basically it goes, okay, you completed that guy, so you're ready to go ahead and execute the next one, which is the execution of assemblies. And notice, one of the points that I'm driving through, like I mentioned to you earlier, it's not necessarily as pretty as CSM was, okay? RACF issues, yeah, I had a big one there. But the flexibility that this, zOSMF is giving you, that's one of the reasons that we're actually partnering, or the direction that we're taking as far as CA is concerned going forward, okay? We're not getting rid of, CSM, or we'll still be maintaining it, but going forward as far as us being able to go ahead and develop our new install mechanisms. What everything will be supporting zOSMF rather than CSM. Okay, so let me go ahead and give you a couple of flavor of some of the other things that I can actually do within this environment, and you are actually able to get the gist of basically what I'm trying to do. Okay, one of the things also that he's able to capture was that notice that he is keeping track of what the other variables within, the original job were. So if I actually went ahead and filled in the variable for my target library, he actually brings that forward. Okay, and basically I probably forgot to actually point you where I actually said, save this going forward, but that's what you were able to do. Otherwise, you'll have to go ahead and keep the things in all over again. Okay. tell me I got 5 more minutes. That's fine. I can use them. Okay, so right here, basically one of the things for the system status, meaning CXX, LXX, FXX, PXX, he's asking me for the sake of this demo, I'm going to go ahead and just go ahead and use the same high-level qualifier, and then the CXX name, I'm going to go ahead and use zOSMF 15, let's say. Okay? Just for the sake of simplicity of the environment, just to show you that it works. Okay, save, and then I click next. I don't have anything here. And I should have saved the other information, so I call it AXCUS0. AXCUS01. And then I give you my accounting info, 12541. That's pretty sad when you got your accounting info there. You remember that better than you do your own Social Security number. That's pretty sad. So remember when I went ahead and changed and modified back to 80, and that's something that we can do internally within the configuration of the entire zOSMF environment. I'm not in the administrative end of things. So one of the things that I did want to go ahead and modify here, which would be something that if I'm not able to do, is I'm going to have to document it very, very carefully, okay, and that is the modification of the macro DBSIDPR. I know it's here somewhere. I'm getting to it. Here it is. Okay. So right here, basically, I didn't have and I know that there's another place right here. Yeah, there I go. I just want to make sure everything aligned, and that was because of the modifications I made internally, and then basically just went ahead and clicked things over here. So if I wouldn't have put that in, I would have had a JTL or some sort of error, so. Next thing, so I just go ahead and click finish. He's going to go ahead and run through the actual execution of all of the assemblies as it would if I was actually executing a brand new installation. So it's already active. He's going to go ahead and run through it. And since I only had about 2 minutes left, 1 minute, boy, that 2 minutes turned 1 minute really quick. Okay, so basically, everything went ahead and ran a return code 0, and here it is. It's giving me the output of everything else that he actually went ahead and executed underneath here. So if I went ahead and click close, okay, he'll go ahead and update the execution for assemblies and says execution for assemblies complete. And just take a look at basically the remainder of the steps that I had. Okay, and basically it's the same thing. It was just what I'm showing you, just the process, because each and every single one of these steps, it will be basically the same process. Just changing variable, verifying that it's correct, and just going ahead and execute it. So this is the gist of the demo. You know, as soon as you get through with the entire thing, notice at the top it'll say 100%, and they'll verify and they'll tell the management or whoever else is interested as far as this information that everything is done. So going forward, you'll probably be hearing a whole lot more, anywhere from 6 to 8 months down the road, a whole lot more about this workflows within the environments, and also doing the cooperating with IBM in order to perform this zOSMF. Thank you. Any questions quickly?
Okay, if you have a question, be sure and do #6 to unmute because everyone is muted.
We thought, just an extra point, we thought this would be an important session to show you guys because IBM is coming out and doing a lot of publicity around zOSMF. And we wanted to make sure you all understood that, you know, the Datacom team has been working with the overall CA team to make sure that we're compatible and that if a customer moves to the zOSMF installation process, that we'll be there and be ready for it. I did hear someone unmute, so was there a question? Okay.
Okay, well, thanks, everybody. We'll see you again in about 7 minutes for the next presentation. Bye-bye.